Borthakur IAS Academy, an endeavor of excellence.
Borthakur IAS Academy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparation. I am your friend Atrey, and today I am here with another segment of Current Affairs 365, dated 7th of May 2021. This is your one-stop solution for all the daily updates and news which will help you for your preparation in civil service, and not just that, it is also going to help you for any other competitive exams. Please consider liking and sharing this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first news of the day is regarding the Maratha reservation, which has been declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court recently. The Maharashtra law, which provides reservation for the benefits of the Maratha community, what it does, it exceeds the state quota limit by 50%, and as a result, recently Supreme Court declared it as unconstitutional. Now, if we go to the background of this case, okay, in the year 2018, Maharashtra Assembly passed a bill which proposed 16% reservation for the Maratha community. While upholding this reservation, the Bombay High Court, it pointed out that instead of 16%, it should be reduced to 12% in education and 13% in jobs. And in the year 2020, the Supreme Court, it stayed the implementation and referred the case to the Chief Justice of India for a larger bench. And finally, recently it was declared unconstitutional, okay, by the Supreme Court. This particular news is important because providing relaxation to one particular community, it actually violates Articles 14 and 21, right to equality and due to process of law. Okay, these two fundamental rights are violated if a separate reservation for the Maratha community is to be provided. Okay, that is number one. And secondly, the reservation breaching of 50%, it will create a society based on caste rule. Our constitution, it provides equality for all, right? It is not favoring any particular religion, caste or community. The secular nature of our country will be in danger, right, if we start providing such community-based reservation in every state. That is another thing. And thirdly, also the overall reservation ceiling for 64%, which is capped at 64% in education and 65% in jobs, that will also be increased. That will also be violated if the Maratha reservation of 12% and 13% is provided to that particular community. So that is the reason why this particular law has been considered as unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. And to some extent it is fair enough, because if some people, if a section of the society, they are not able to get good education, then government should take some initiative to provide them free education. That is true. But when it comes to getting a job, if the person is educated, then I think all of the educated people, all of the eligible people, they should have a fair field, okay? They should have a level playing field to prove their worth and then to get the designated post. Now, secondly, let us have a look at the scheduled drugs list. Recently, the Bombay High Court, they have asked the center to include Remdesivir in the list of scheduled drugs and also to regulate its price. Now, why this particular drug has been chosen? Because this drug was initially developed for treatment of Ebola and related virus. And when it was tested on COVID-19 patients, it has been found that this particular drug helps in preventing the viral replication of COVID-19. And hence, it has the best potential to be used in high doses without causing further any extra toxicities among the COVID positive patients. Now friends, we have been actively discussing this particular issue of COVID-19 rising cases and related deaths, how the main cause of deaths in India is because of COVID-19 presently, and the second wave is creating, destructing our environment day by day, right? And we have also seen how certain foreign groups and organizations, they have conducted the study and seen how the center and state have not acknowledged, have not addressed the issue properly, and as a result the situation is deteriorating day by day. There is we have seen the lack of liquid medical oxygen, how there is no proper supply of beds in the hospital, right? There is absence of COVID-19 chambers which should be exclusively dedicated to the COVID positive patients, right? And along with it, there is lack of beds as well as medicines. And now when a bench of the Bombay High Court was addressing a public interest litigation on these points like shortage of oxygen, non-availability of drugs and hospital beds in Nagpur district, they have asked the center to include remdesivir, which is one of the beneficial medicines, okay, for the COVID-19 patient, to be listed in the enlisted in the scheduled drugs list, okay. And it has also suggested certain measures to regulate the price of this drug, especially when it is essential during a natural calamity or epidemic. And the Drug Control Act, it can issue a notification to fix the rates of essential drug during an epidemic. This will help us in a long way, right? Because it will not just stop the extortion of money from families of COVID-19, but also will put a stop on the black marketing of this particular drug. So it is highly recommended that the Drug Control Act and the drugs and cosmetic rules, they take the necessary steps so that remdesivir can be made available to the masses at a very fair price. Moving ahead to the next news, which is regarding the production linked incentive scheme for food processing industry. Recently, the Union Cabinet, it approved the central sector scheme for food processing industry, which had an outlay of rupees 10,900 crore. So what is a production linked incentive scheme? Okay, this particular scheme, it mainly focuses on boosting the domestic manufacturing and in turn will cut down the import bills, right? And central government, with this aim, it had introduced this particular PLI scheme, which will aim to give the companies incentives on incremental sales, and it will also help them in manufacturing products in the domestic units. Not just that, it is also going to invite foreign companies to set up shop in India. Along with it, it will encourage the local companies to set up or expand the existing manufacturing units. Now, this production linked incentive scheme, it is not just limited to the food processing industry, okay? It has been also approved for sectors like automobiles, pharmaceuticals, IT hardwares, including laptop, mobile phone, telecom equipment, etc., and textiles. Okay, so these sectors will also be included in the production linked incentive scheme. Now, coming to the objective of the PLI scheme for food processing industry, this mainly will help in creation of global food manufacturing champions. Okay, it will strengthen selected Indian brands of food products that to gain global visibility and wider acceptance in the international market. Obviously, it is going to increase the employment opportunities regarding the off-farm jobs, and along with it, it will ensure remunerative prices of farm produce that will provide higher incomes to the farmers. So this particular scheme has been implemented for a period of 6 years from 21-22 to 26-27, and the expected benefits includes expansion of processing capacity that will generate processed food output worth rupees 33,494 crores. Along with it, it is also believed that this is going to create employment for nearly 2.5 lakh people by the year 26-27. Now the next news is regarding the Global Innovation Partnership, GIP. Okay, I have already discussed this news of the bilateral virtual summit between Indian Prime Minister and the Prime Minister of UK, right? Thereby, we saw how India thanked the approach of UK for providing prompt medical assistance in the wake of severe second wave of COVID-19 in India. They also adopted in this particular meeting the roadmap 2030, and as a part of this, okay, the Global Innovation Partnership, a memorandum of understanding was also signed, and recently the Union Cabinet gave the final approval to the signing of this memorandum of understanding between India and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office of the United Kingdom. This particular partnership, it will support all the Indian innovators and will help them to scale up their innovations, okay, innovative ideas, and will help them explore the new markets and become self-sustainable. This particular partnership is going to provide a positive impact on India because it will foster the innovative ecosystem of our country. It will focus on sustainable development goals, okay, and how the recipient countries are going to achieve their sustainable development goals, right? Then thirdly, it is going to support the Indian entrepreneurs through seed funding, grants investment, and technical assistance. So this will be a very good opportunity for our country to scale up and take our innovative development solutions to select the developing countries as per our choice, right? Along with it, the Global Innovation Partnership, it will also develop an open and inclusive e-marketplace for the cross-border innovation transfer. This particular cross-border innovation transfer, it will result in maintaining transparency and accountability of the entire process. The next important news is regarding the export of organic millets. The export of organic product from our country has received a major boost as the first consignment of millet, which is grown in Himalaya, is all set to be exported to Denmark. At present, all the organic products which are exported, they are processed and packed as per the requirements of the National Program for Organic Production. Now, what is organic farming? We are all aware of organic farming, right? It is a part unit of the farm design and management, which aims at producing agricultural products without the use of any synthetic external inputs like the chemical fertilizers, pesticides, or any synthetic hormones, right? The products which are obtained from organic farming, they are comparatively healthier and are way more suitable for human consumption. Along with it, the Indian state of Sikkim, it has been recognized as the world's first organic state. Coming to the India's status of organic food export, okay, India's export of organic product, it rose by more than 51% in the during the February 2020-21 compared to the same period of the previous fiscal year, right? And in terms of quantity, the export of organic food product grew by 39%. Now, India's organic product, they are exported to 58 countries, which includes USA, European Union, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, etc. The Agricultural and Processed Food Products Export Development and Authority, they recently sourced ragi, which is known as finger millet, and chingora, which is also known as the barnyard millet, from the farmers of Uttarakhand for export purpose. Okay, and this National Program for Organic Production, it has been implemented by the Agriculture and Processed Food Product Exports Development Authority itself since its inception in 2001. Now let us have a look at the Model Insurance Village concept. This particular idea has been proposed by the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India in order to boost the insurance penetration in rural areas. According to the Economic Survey of the year 2020 and 2021, India's insurance penetration has significantly increased as compared to 2001, where it was 2.71%, and in 2019 it was 3.76%. Although there is a steady growth in this percentage, but yet it is much below the global average of 7.23%. Okay. So keeping this in mind, this particular concept of Model Insurance Village has been introduced, which aims at providing comprehensive insurance protection to all the major risks that the villagers are exposed to, okay, which are insurable in nature. And it will also make available covers at affordable or subsidized cost. At first, they have aimed to implement this particular concept in a minimum of 500 villages and in the first year, and then they will plan to increase it to the next 1,000 villages in the subsequent 2 years. The factors which will be covered under this particular insurance includes those crop varieties that remains uncovered under the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, and then secondly, the flexible farm insurance package policies will be provided, targeting the comprehensive needs of crops, livestock, farmers and the farm implants. Also, separate products for high value agriculture, contract farming and corporate farming community will be provided as per their needs. However, there are certain challenges in spreading this insurance to the rural areas. First being the lack of awareness among the people. Okay. Also, there is limited choice of insurance products among the villagers and absence of people-friendly and transparent claim settlement mechanisms. These are the certain challenges which the insurance firms will face initially because of the weak network there. But with advanced growth in the rural insurance business, as they work on it, right, they can overcome these challenges, and this will help the rural sectors to rural area people of the residing in the rural areas to develop in a better way. So this was all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another segment of Current Affairs 365. Till then, take care and keep learning. Bye-bye.
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS একাডেমি প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS একাডেমি